What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we jump into this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that type of stuff. A while ago, if you follow me on Instagram, you remember that I posted on my story. It was a question sticker, questions you have for vegans. Oh, that's another thing. If you don't follow my Instagram, go do that at All Things Plant Based. But yeah, so I posted that and I decided to do a video on the responses. I picked my 10 favorite questions that vegans get, and decided that I was going to do a vlog on it. So, question number 1, what's your favorite thing to eat? My mom actually asked this one. Chocolate. Easily. Chocolate. Why did you go vegan? So, I did a video on that already, but I'll touch on that here. I went vegan mainly for health reasons, is why I went vegan. I stayed vegan because I just felt like it was a more ethical choice. We live in a time and place where there's so many plant-based alternatives. It just didn't really seem necessary for me to eat meat anymore. It's healthier for you. You know, no animals harmed in the process. Yeah, so went vegan for health, stayed vegan for the ethics behind it. And just to be clear, I don't think there's anything morally wrong with eating meat. I think it's an ethical choice. But we're not going to get into that. Will your kids be vegan? I don't have kids and don't plan on having them anytime soon. But in the future, I mean, I would like to think so. It just wouldn't make sense for me to buy 2 separate sets of groceries. It'd be a lot easier just to buy 1 set of vegan groceries and share with an entire household. So, yeah, I guess, but you know, who knows? We'll see. Will you only date vegans? It would be preferential that whoever I end up dating, marrying, is vegan. I wouldn't say that's a requirement on my checklist. It's more of a preferred thing. So no, I won't, dismiss someone who's not a vegan simply because they're not a vegan. Do you ever miss meat? No. No, I don't. Not in the slightest, because there's so many plant-based alternatives that I don't have to. Which is why I feel like it's more ethical just to be vegan, because you have so many plant-based alternatives that are so similar in taste and texture that it just makes eating meat unnecessary. Um, Difference between pescatarian, vegetarian, plant-based, and vegan. Okay, so pescatarians only eat um they eat fish. They eat fish and seafood, but they don't eat other forms of meat. Vegetarians don't eat meat at all, but they'll eat things like eggs and milk. Plant-based, most people who are plant-based are basically on a diet, trying to eat healthier. Um, so they don't eat meat, eggs, milk, honey, anything that comes from an animal, really. And vegans, we don't eat or use anything that comes from an animal. For example, I had a start date planned for when I was going vegan, because I knew the day I went vegan was the day I was going to start my YouTube channel. And like maybe 2 months before that, my grandmother bought me 3 pairs of nice leather dress shoes, and they were nice too. So I ended up giving them to my dad and explained to her why, because I was going vegan and wasn't going to be using leather once I went vegan. So instead she ended up buying me 2 pairs of vegan leather shoes. But I digress. Vegans, we don't use animal products in any way, shape, form, or fashion. What do you eat? Easier question to answer would be, what don't I eat? Like I said, there's so many plant-based alternatives for everything. You have plant-based eggs. You have so many plant milks: oat, almond, soy, pea. Like, there's so many plant-based milks. There's so many plant-based recipes for meat replacements. I eat everything as long as it doesn't come from an animal. Like, that's too long a question to ask in specifics. To answer in specifics. Why not eat real meat instead of fake meat? Because I felt like it was a more ethical choice to eat fake meat as opposed to eating meat that came from animals. Because and I explained this on an Instagram post as well. It wasn't just that the animals had to be killed to make it to my plate. It was the way that it was done. Like, some of the stuff that goes on in a slaughterhouse, if you read about it happening to a dog or a cat, people would be rioting and rallying against animal abuse. And my question became, why is it okay for it to happen to cows, pigs, and chickens, and for it to not happen to dogs, or for it to be a federal offense for these things to be done to dogs and cats in this country? Because if we did those same things to dogs and cats, it would be considered animal abuse. Just some food for thought. Why do vegans tell everyone that they're vegan? Okay, that's a stereotype pushed by the media. Most vegans, they don't just off the bat tell you, oh, by the way, I'm vegan. Most don't do that. However, in certain circumstances, situations, instances, it is necessary to mention that we're vegan, and then we get hit with a bunch of questions, and when we answer them, a lot of people feel like we're judging them, so then we become pushy vegans where our entire life is about veganism, yada yada yada. But yeah, most don't just go around telling everyone that they're vegan. I post a lot of vegan stuff on Twitter, Instagram, here, simply to promote my channel and my IG page. Most vegans aren't like that, though, where they just constantly upload vegan content. And of course, y'all know I could not do this video without having this question be the last one. I saved the best for last. The penultimate vegan question. Where do you get your protein? I can't tell y'all how many times I've been asked this since I've been vegan, and I haven't even been vegan for a full year yet. So y'all who have been vegan for some years, shout out to y'all, because it's frustrating getting asked this question. But my answer is always the same. No, it's not. I have one of two answers, and depending on how I'm feeling, that day depends on what answer you get. Now, the first answer is when I'm just really not feeling it that day, and I'm not really feeling this ridiculous question. My answer is I don't get protein. There are no plant-based forms of protein whatsoever. It won't be too long now before I die of protein deficiency. So, start making plans to come to my funeral. And, whatever you got to say to me before I die, you should probably say it now, because I'm not exactly sure how much longer I'm going to be alive. I can be very sarcastic sometimes, as you probably just realized in that answer. And answer number two, the same place your protein gets its protein, plants. Like, some of the world's biggest animals are plant-based. They don't eat meat. Some of the world's strongest animals, they don't eat meat. It's not necessary to eat meat to get your protein. And something I didn't find out until I went vegan, actually, is that animals don't make their own protein, which makes sense because humans have to get it from other sources. But yeah, animals don't make their own protein. They get it from plants, or they get it from other animals who eat plants, just like a lot of humans do. They get it from plants or animals that eat plants. We don't make our own protein, so why would you think that there are no plant-based sources of protein? But yeah, that's all there is for this video. Like I said at the outset of this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And I will see you guys next week. Oh, before I get off here, I know I'm just kind of getting back into this whole YouTube thing. And I just wanted to put it out there. I'm going to try to... I'm sorry, y'all. Got busy looking at my phone. I'm going to try to upload a vlog and a recipe video every week. So I'll try to put out. I can't make any promises, but I will definitely try my best to put 2 videos out every Sunday going forward. So just a little update on that for y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all next week.